IQ. He understands the sport. He looks at it in a mental sense. He knows what he needs to do.
Right. Crawford gonna have to stay consistent and win out. Gonna have to get ahead and stay ahead. You know what I mean? And then also looming is the controversy. Can Crawford win a close decision? I could never win a close decision.
Crawford has the same, but I just feel like Crawford's ring-eye coordination is better and he has more fire in the body left. He wants it more, in my opinion.
Lennox Lewis explains why Terence Crawford has what it takes to beat Canelo. He says this fight will be decided more in the mind than by physical strength. Crawford's sharp boxing IQ, slick movement, and ability to adjust on the fly give him a real advantage. Lewis points out that size won't matter here, because Crawford's smart tactics let him control and neutralize his opponents. That's why he believes Crawford can outthink and outfight Canelo.
He's got incredible talent, incredible IQ. He understands the sport. He looks at it in a mental sense. He knows what he needs to do to stay at the top and be at the top. He moves very well. He's a very elusive mover, and his work rate is high.
I won't ask you who's going to win the fight, because I know it's a question you've probably been asked a million times, but I will ask you, do you think this fight goes the distance, or do you think this fight ends inside the distance?
Interesting. Really an interesting fight to look at.
Coach Bernie highlights what makes Terence Crawford such a dangerous opponent. To him, Crawford isn't just a strong puncher. He's a fighter whose accuracy and timing make every shot damaging. Bernie stresses that even though Canelo Alvarez has an impressive record, he hasn't faced someone with Crawford's mix of speed, precision, and natural power. When he says Crawford's punches land like bricks, he's talking about the raw strength Crawford brings, even when moving up in weight.
A fight is always highly anticipated, and one this magnitude, you know what I'm saying? I think Canelo is hyped too, because, you know, they know that Bud brings a different element, and the guys that he's been fighting is now superstars. Bud is a superstar. It's a mega fight. It's an underdog fight, you know, and like I said, you know, I'm sure they anticipate, you know, he has trouble with movers and slick boxers and stuff like that, so they're trying to see how he deals with that, you know. Bud fans is, you know, understandable. You know, Canelo got the power, he got the experience, and, you know, he's one of the faces of boxing, and so, you know, it just breeds anticipation, you know, want to see somebody do something great. And I think that's what everybody mostly counting on. It's a lot of hate, though. A lot of people want to see us lose, and the real ones want to see us win. You know what I mean? But, you know, all in all, you know.
This fight has fans buzzing with excitement. The boxing world is eager to see how Canelo, known for his power and counterpunching, will handle a fighter like Crawford. Quick, tricky, and technically brilliant. Crawford's footwork, speed, and ring smarts make him a tough puzzle to solve. Unlike many of Canelo's past opponents, Crawford won't stand still and wait to be countered. This matchup is about more than just skills. It's about styles and legacies. For the first time in years, many believe Canelo is facing someone who can truly test him in every way.
Well, Bud Crawford just hits hard anyway. He got fucking bricks for hands, you know what I mean? He got baseball mitts. His hands is big as a baseball mitt. So, you know, then he's a sharp puncher. So you gotta understand that Canelo hasn't fought a sharp puncher. You know, them guys wasn't sharp punchers. Magia, Berlanga, the guys, they not sharp punchers. You know what I'm saying? So when you got a sharp, it's a difference with the speed and the velocity that they're coming with. You know what I mean? If you can understand that, the quickness of the punches, the sharpness of the punches, these guys, you can see all their punches coming. You ain't gonna be able to see all Bud punches coming. You ain't gonna be able to see his punches coming, for real.
They have what, like one common opponent, Amir Khan?
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you think the difference is? Obviously, you've seen a highlight reel with, you know, with Canelo.
Trainer Stephen Bredman Edwards offers a dose of reality. He notes that Canelo's choice to spar with Jaron Ennis, another skilled fighter, is a smart move, but doesn't mean much in the bigger picture. Edwards explains that sparring is useful for testing strategies and styles, but it's nothing like the intensity of a real fight. Under the lights, with millions watching, the pressure is completely different. Crawford's skill set can't be copied in a sparring session. Edwards believes Canelo's sparring is more about mental preparation and public image than proof he can beat Crawford.
Great feints, moves well, whereas Crawford has the same, but I just feel that Crawford's ring guy coordination is better, and he has more fire in the body left. He wants it more, in my opinion. Whereas Canelo in that last fight against the Cuban guy he fought, he just seems to me that that fire has just gone. Like, he was just getting the win and moving around and enjoying himself, which he can do, because at the end of the day, the guy, he's already cemented his legacy, so he can do that. So yeah, I got Crawford winning that fight.
And when you sparred him, when you're in the same camp with Bomac, what was it like? You have any good stories about sparring him since you were an opponent?
See, when I fought him as a fight, I didn't know what to expect. But then obviously, when I sparred with him, I would try different things to really how would I be able to beat a guy like him? And I was working on different things, and the guy is very tricky. He's a guy that always keeps on adapting your style and also keep getting better and better as the fight goes on. So yeah, he's a very, very good fighter. I do like him because he came to my camp 2-3 times, drove up to spend like 2-3 weeks with me. Well, just give me some advice and be there with me and win with me and train with me. And so yeah, that's why like them little things go a long way for me, and that's why I'll always support him and push him.
Amir Khan, who has fought both men, brings his own insight. He respects Canelo's achievements, but believes Crawford simply wants the fight more. In Khan's eyes, Crawford's hunger and determination set him apart, and that could make the difference. He adds that Crawford still has freshness, speed, and drive, while Canelo has years of wear from competing at the top. Khan sees Crawford as sharper, more motivated, and fully locked in. For him, it's not just about skill, it's about who is willing to give everything. And right now, Khan feels that fighter is Crawford.
Charm, and don't do nothing in camp and then go look like $1 million in the fight. That's why fighters spend the kind of money they spend on sparring partners, because getting the look or stimulating the intensity of how a fight is going to be is how you prepare for a fight. And the most important part of camp is sparring. So it didn't make me say that Canelo was going to win the fight, but it did make me say, damn, he's taking this fight serious, and that's a real good look. I respect the fact that he went out and got the best possible sparring he could find for Crawford to win this fight. I even respect when he did it, because if he would have got Boots early in camp, Boots would have probably beat his butt. You know what I mean? When you first come to camp and you're not sharp. So he got him a few weeks in the camp with maybe, what's how many weeks left for the fight? About 3 weeks left for the fight. This usually your peak time. So he got him about 3 weeks left in the camp so he can handle the work. Because again, you've been up to Philly and you've seen the work. Boots don't have bad days in the gym. He stays in the gym all the time. Yeah. So like, you could just get him off the streets and he'll go 10 or 12 rounds in the gym. He don't have bad days. I'm not just bragging. I'm not bragging about a kid that I don't train or he's not my son. I'm just telling the truth. Like, I haven't seen him have like the off day in the gym in like 10 years. You know how sometimes a guy don't look good and you be like, oh, okay, he not doing his best. He really don't have them days. You know what I mean?
And the crazy part about it is he does more than 3-minute rounds and he never sits down.
The meaning behind Canelo sparring Jaron Ennis can't be overlooked. It was a clear attempt to prepare for the kind of style Crawford brings. Like Crawford, Ennis is fast, versatile, and dangerous from multiple stances. By training with him, Canelo likely wanted to experience the rhythm and unpredictability Crawford is known for. Still, analysts argue that no sparring partner can truly copy Crawford. His timing, mid-fight adjustments, and unique rhythm are things only he can deliver. For Canelo, this sparring is less about finding a formula to win and more about building confidence and showing fans he's serious about the challenge.
Moves, as Canelo's maybe not had as much experience with that since moving to 168. Usually he's the smaller guy fighting some of the bigger guys. But that's not all this is. This is a message that Canelo is looking to replicate exactly what Terence Crawford has in his arsenal, has in his tool set, because everybody has wanted to see the Boots Ennis versus Terence Crawford fight because it's a stylistic matchup that is very interesting. Both guys fight out of both stances. That's right. Boots will fight out of southpaw and orthodox. Both guys are very good using their defense to create offense. Boots, one of the best at Philly shelling, catch countering, being able to do it out of both stances, has a beautiful check hook out of southpaw. As orthodox fighters throw their left hook, he comes over the top with his. And why would Canelo be looking for someone that could throw a beautiful lead hook and a backhand as a counter punch, rolling with their defense back to their offense? Oh wait, because that's what Terence Bud Crawford does so well. Boots is explosive. He's got great counter punch timing. He's got good awareness. His feet are good. He can walk you onto punches. He can lead the dance going first, not just looking for his counter punches, but underrated, I think, in his aggression to lead the exchanges. This is a perfect get for Canelo. And I'm not even trying to play the one side or the other. Canelo fans, Crawford fans, you're going to think whatever you want to think. But the reality is, getting this kind of sparring is a massive deal for Canelo. It's going to give him probably the best look you could get for Terence Bud Crawford outside of sparring Terence Bud Crawford. I can't understate how important even just a couple of days working with Jaron Boots Ennis is going to be for Canelo, just to see a bit of the tempo, a bit of that switching of stance, because let's be honest, there's not many guys that Canelo has fought that have fought out of both stances and done it as fluidly as Boots Ennis or as Bud Crawford will do.
Another big question around Canelo is whether age is catching up to him. Many have noticed that in his 30s, his speed and footwork aren't what they used to be. Against someone as quick and mobile as Crawford, that could be a real problem. Canelo's strength has always been his timing, counter-punching, and ability to cut off the ring. But if his legs can't keep up with Crawford's non-stop movement and angles, he may end up chasing a fighter he can't pin down. That creates a tactical issue. Power alone won't matter if he can't land clean shots. Fans and analysts are watching closely to see if Crawford's speed and agility will expose this weakness.
Although he's holding back, you can tell. Even if his legs, they look slower than usual, and Canelo has always been someone who's always had very slow feet. Even when he was down at 154 pounds. Something that plagued him throughout the course of his career is he's just had very slow feet, you know, like cement sometimes on them. That's one of the weaknesses of Canelo, and obviously now, how old is Canelo? 35 years old, 34, 35. They're going to be, they were slow in your mid-20s. They're definitely going to be slow now in your mid-30s. Before we follow up on that, just have a look there really quickly on screen. Please, if y'all could, hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. It literally takes like 2 seconds. We're only a couple of subs off 26,300. I want to get 30k. Please, if you can help me out, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, Canelo's always had slow feet, but I think this is the bigger, I think a lot of people are more worried about this now because he's going to be in there. Essentially, he's going to be in there against someone who is really, I mean, it's obviously Crawford's last fight was at 154 pounds, but like, he's really a welterweight. You know, he did look a little bit undersized at 154. He's going to look completely undersized at 168. But the size difference, does the size, you know, thing out of the equation, speed difference is going to be vast because Crawford's always had good feet. He's always had fast feet. And if you think Canelo's feet look slow against someone like William Skull, a big, bulky 168-pounder who, at the end of the day, was just running around the ring, he's going to look even slower against Crawford. And a lot of people are saying, just based upon that training footage, oh, it's now a 50-50 fight, you know, I'm running with Terence Crawford, or that's who I'm...
Even with Crawford's brilliant skills, experts warn this fight is a real test. Moving up in weight to face a naturally bigger man like Canelo is no small leap. Canelo has dominated in higher divisions, beating tough champions with proven size and strength. That experience gives him confidence and toughness Crawford hasn't fully shown at this level yet. Crawford's speed and ring IQ will be tested against Canelo's raw power and durability, making this matchup a true clash of styles.
This is what scares me going into this Terence Crawford fight. These are the guys Canelo's typically fighting. This is his last opponent, William Skull. William Skull is far from a great opponent. When we're talking about sheer size and strength, Canelo is just way more built and used to taking on larger guys and overpowering them. Look at William Skull. This guy is jacked. He's huge, man. And that makes me think, like, if Canelo has been taking punches from guys like this, I'm not saying William Skull in particular, but guys like William Skull, the size of William Skull, and he's been dropping them, stopping them, beating them around the ring, overpowering, over-muscling, just everything, physically demanding over them. That makes me think, man, Terence Crawford, I don't know what, you gonna have to come with some heat, dog. Look at Canelo. This guy is half the size of William Skull. There's nothing cut about him. There's nothing popping out, bulging. There's nothing. Look at this. This is insanity. That's what I'm really like, dude. I don't know. Canelo could go in there and walk through Terence Crawford like a hot knife through butter. That is definitely on the table here. He's gonna have to be really crafty, really savvy, and have to put on some amazing work from the outside. If he tries to sit there and walk through Canelo, he gonna hit a brick wall, dog. If guys built like this ain't walking through Canelo, even when Canelo looks like this, Terence Crawford ain't doing it, man. I gotta be honest.
Win or lose, this fight already feels historic. The hype is even bigger because it will stream on Netflix, giving fans all over the world the chance to watch live. Millions are expected to tune in to see two of the best of their generation risk everything. This is more than just a boxing match, it's a cultural moment. Rarely does the sport deliver a showdown where skill, style, and legacy collide so perfectly.
This is huge news for boxing, UFC, and Netflix. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez will officially be on September the 13th on Netflix. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is, of course, the UFC, TKO, recently acquired their new strange boxing model with Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White promoting it. And this actually will be on Netflix. So for some context, if you don't know, the UFC are currently under negotiations with a new TV deal. And the rumors for a very long time were that of Netflix. But it doesn't look like they're going down that route anymore. Or at least it sounded like Netflix wanted a total package where they would get the major UFC fights and the major boxing fights as well. Or potentially they didn't even want the UFC fights and they just wanted a couple of these sort of events. Regardless, Dana White is officially the promoter for it, which I do believe is still bizarre. I still really think that's super bizarre. And the fact that they have quite opposing views in Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White, to be honest. Not in everything, but in how events are run. Dana White doesn't even like stadiums, first and foremost. Turki Al-Sheikh loves making as big of a splash as he possibly can. As fights go, for the casuals, this one is as good as it gets. It really is. Let me know what you think. As always, keep it casual.